Ever get that feeling like things are shifting a bit? Maybe your energy's not quite what it used to be, or you're just seeing the world from a slightly different angle these days.
Yeah, like you're on a new part of the trail.
Exactly. That's midlife for a lot of us, right? And today we're diving deep into someone who's navigating it all and doing it very publicly.
Oh, this should be good.
We're talking about the amazing Elizabeth Banks, the actress and director.
I always enjoy her work.
Me too. She's recently in USA Today talking really candidly about her health, how midlife's treating her, and the importance of her family.
Oh, I saw that. She had some really interesting things to say.
Yeah, so we're going to unpack her experience, pull out the nuggets of wisdom, what she learned about taking charge of her health, how's her outlook changed now that she's in her 50s, and why is family so crucial for her.
Great questions.
Let's start with something that really caught my eye. She got shingles.
Shingles. Wow, that's rough. She's someone who seems to really take care of herself, right?
Totally. But yeah, she got hit hard. So it was not fun at all.
I bet.
It was so bad, she actually missed work for the first time ever.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of amazing in itself, right?
Yeah.
But it really highlights that even if you're generally healthy, things can sneak up on you.
Absolutely. Your body throws curveballs sometimes.
Big time. She called it a huge wake-up call, like a big flashing sign about preventative health. So she got the shingles vaccine right after, which, by the way, is recommended for anyone 50 and over.
Smart move. And it makes you wonder what other risks we might be overlooking.
Right. It's like we have this mental checklist of who needs what vaccine, but it can change, based on new research and stuff.
Absolutely. And speaking of vaccines, she actually went a step further and looked into the one for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. Isn't that more for older folks, though?
Well, actually, there's been an update. The recommendation now includes adults starting at age 50. It's not just for 65 and older anymore.
Huh. That's good to know. So what's the reasoning behind that?
Studies have shown that adults over 50 are at a significantly higher risk, like way higher, of getting pneumococcal pneumonia compared to younger folks.
How much fire are we talking?
Think 6 times greater. Pneumococcal bacteria are nothing to mess with. They can cause lung infections, bloodstream infections, even meningitis.
So not messing around. It really shows how important it is to stay updated on these things.
Exactly. What you thought you knew about vaccines might be outdated.
So true. Quick question for our listeners.
Hmm.
Have you considered these preventative measures? Do you know the latest recommendations? Definitely worth checking with your doctor.
Absolutely. A little chat never hurts. And it's interesting, Elizabeth Banks has partnered with Pfizer now to raise awareness about these very vaccines. It's like her personal experience really motivated her to get the word out.
It's powerful when someone you admire shares their story, right? It's not just some general advice. It's real.
Definitely.
Okay, moving on. Something else she was really open about, which I think is so helpful, is perimenopause.
Yeah, that's a topic that needs more airtime, for sure. Every woman goes through it, but it's like the silent phase before menopause.
Totally. And what I appreciate is that she normalized it.
Yeah.
It can be such a confusing and frustrating time.
Absolutely. She even talked about specific symptoms she experienced, things like brain fog, heightened emotions, and, get this, bouts of rage.
Oh, wow. I mean, hormones, right?
Yeah. She even said something like, who is this person inside of me? This isn't really me. I bet a lot of women can relate to that feeling of being a bit out of sorts.
Definitely. Like your body and mind are playing tricks on you. Your hormones are starting to fluctuate, getting ready for menopause, but the symptoms can be all over the place.
Like a roller coaster you didn't sign up for. But what's important is that Elizabeth Banks didn't just suffer in silence. She was proactive and sought help from her doctor.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Shows you don't have to go through this alone. It's okay to reach out for support.
Absolutely. It's a medical issue, just like anything else. And it's something we need to talk more openly about. Perimenopause can last for years and really affect a woman's well-being.
So true. Menopause gets all the attention,
Yeah.
but perimenopause is the lead up and it can be intense. So to our listeners, especially the women out there, does this ring true for you? Have you had similar experiences or know someone who has? It's a conversation worth having.
For sure. Now, shifting gears a bit, Elizabeth Banks also spoke about her overall approach to health, particularly in midlife. And her reasons for this shift are something I think a lot of us will connect with.
Oh, definitely. She talked about becoming more focused on preventing those big health problems that tend to pop up as we age. Things like heart disease, cancer, lung issues.
Yeah, it makes sense. When we're younger, we might be more concerned with immediate things like staying in shape or dealing with a cold. But as we get older, it's more about the long game.
It's like shifting from playing defense to offense, right?
Exactly. You're not just reacting to problems, you're actively trying to prevent them.
And she's walking the walk, too. She mentioned working out more regularly, eating healthier, prioritizing sleep, even indulging in some spa time for wellness.
Ah, the spa. Always a good idea.
Right. But her main motivation, and this is so heartwarming, is that she wants to be around, healthy and present, for her 2 teenage sons and her husband.
Oh, that's beautiful. That kind of deep personal motivation can make all the difference when it comes to sticking to healthy habits. It's not just about you anymore, it's about being there for the people you love.
It gives it all a bigger purpose, right? So for you listening, what are your top health priorities at this point in your life? What drives you to take care of yourself? Take a moment to reflect on that.
Good food for thought. And speaking of reflecting, Elizabeth Banks also compared her experience of turning 40 to turning 50. Interestingly, 50 was actually easier for her.
Really? That's surprising. What did she say about it?
Well, she described midlife as an earning period, which I thought was a really cool way to look at it. She said she feels way more confident now and much less of that imposter syndrome that can haunt us at times.
Earning period. I love that. It's
Yeah.
like all the hard work, the learning, the struggles of our younger years, they're finally paying off.
Right. We've gained wisdom, experience, resilience, and that translates into greater self-assurance.
And she also talked about letting go of FOMO, the fear of missing out, that constant pressure to be young and do it all.
Ah, FOMO, the bane of modern existence.
Seriously. But she said in midlife, you kind of surrender to the present moment. You're not chasing after every trend or trying to relive your youth.
It's about accepting where you are and appreciating what you have, right?
Yeah.
Sounds very liberating.
Totally. It's like she's found peace with herself and with aging. It makes you wonder, listeners, have you noticed a similar shift in your perspective as you've gotten older?
Right.
What does midlife feel like for you?
And beyond her own personal journey, Elizabeth Banks emphasized the importance of her family. Spending time with her husband and teenage sons is clearly a top priority.
Yeah, she talked about how much she cherishes those everyday moments with them. Even simple things like walking their dog, Saucer, who's a Schnauzer Poodle Terrier mix, by the way.
Oh, how cute is that? Little designer dog. But it's those little things, those daily rituals that create connection and build memories.
Totally. And they also bond over shared activities, like binge-watching shows together. She mentioned Severance and said they're planning to watch The Residence. It's about creating those shared experiences, big or small.
Makes you think, are we making time for those moments in our own lives?
Absolutely. And it ties back to her earlier point about prioritizing her health, right? It's about being present, being able to enjoy those moments with loved ones for years to come.
It all comes full circle. So listeners, take a moment to appreciate those small but meaningful connections in your life. Are you nurturing them? Are you present?
Great questions. And finally, Elizabeth Banks briefly touched on a very personal topic, her experience with infertility.
Yeah, that's a sensitive subject, but so important to acknowledge. It affects so many people, yet it's often shrouded in silence.
Exactly. And her willingness to even mention it briefly adds another layer to her story. It's clear that her journey to motherhood has made her even more grateful for the family she has now.
And she had some simple but powerful advice for anyone going through something similar. She just said, seek it out. It's there for you.
Meaning support and help are available. You're not alone. Which is such a crucial message for anyone struggling with infertility or any other family planning challenges.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Elizabeth Banks' insights, what are the key takeaways here?
Well, we started with that unexpected wake-up call about preventative health. Her shingles experience really highlighted the importance of vaccination, especially with those updated recommendations for the pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine for people over 50.
We also delved into her candid discussion about perimenopause, normalizing those sometimes intense and confusing experiences that women go through.
And we talked about her proactive approach to health in midlife. She's making those healthy choices because she wants to be around for her family for a long time.
We also explored her evolving perspective on aging. She sees midlife as an earning period, a time of confidence and self-acceptance. And she's letting go of that FOMO that can be so draining.
And finally, we saw how much she values family connections, those big and small moments that make life rich.
So listeners, as we leave you with this, think about what resonated with you most today, what stuck out, what surprised you.
And maybe, just maybe, there's one small action you can take, one little step inspired by Elizabeth Banks' story that can make a positive difference in your own life.
Food for thought as we head into the weekend.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time.
Bye for now.